So the first community question I have for you is: any word on Valor from RDF in the first lockout for those that had to go hard to 85 and get to that item level to random queue on the first day of North America servers?
So it is our intention to not make players feel like they have to race to 85 and try to accumulate valor to get up to cap or whatever it is within that first lockout to try to create a bonus lockout for them. We should have comms going out about this, detailing the specifics around that, but it is not our intent to create that pressure for them.
The decision to do the world revamp into Cata versus a sort of Classic Plus in the form of permanent content like Season of Discovery, a divergent from the Classic client.
I don't feel like they are. I feel like they're kind of mutually exclusive. Like we don't have to only have one. We have the original World of Warcraft. We have vanilla or era. We are doing hardcore in there. We have Season of Discovery. There's always a possibility we're going to do, other cool, interesting things. And then we have this progression WoW where we've gone into Cataclysm and we've shattered the world. But if players are lonely for it, if they really miss that older version, they can go visit it on the era side, or they can jump into Cataclysm and go through this new adventure. So it's one of those, there's really just a lot of options for players based on what they really like.
And on the development side, we're certainly still continuing to develop Season of Discovery. That hasn't stopped just because we're also developing Cataclysm, and we're excited for the future phases of Season of Discovery and for players to be able to get to experience them.
Players are very upset about the state of archaeology. Have you heard their cries, and do you plan on addressing that?
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is something that we certainly have discussed on the team. It is a short pre-patch, and you were able to start archaeology right from the beginning of it. It's tough because the original Cataclysm designers' intent with this was to get players out into the world and running around and discovering and interacting with archaeology as a profession. And mission accomplished. They have absolutely done that. But we recognize the frustration of the drive that some players rightfully have to try to get the gear that is locked behind this profession as well. We hear players, absolutely. It is an ongoing conversation that we're having as a team. I don't have any updates to announce on that front for now. Yeah, it's something that we will continue to listen to as players, raise their concerns over it and discuss as a team.
Next question is: any plans to add a catch-up mechanic for arena players with conquest points?
So on the conquest front, we should have some communication going out very soon about the rate of accrual and the cap of conquest points. I don't have specifics to give on that right now, but given our expedited patch cadence and the likely shorter seasons that we're going to have, we are looking at ways to ensure that players who are dedicated to it are actually able to get the sets that they are looking for. That are associated with these seasons within the time that they'll have to be able to do so. So I would look for communication on that to go out soon.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts about adding an NPC at Nax and Zul'Grub to be able to do the level 60 versions of the raids like you did with Anexia?
It's a great idea.
Really cool.
No plans for that now, but we love hearing those ideas and what players want to participate in. It's a possibility.
Do you have any plans to allow players to turn in the heroic tier token for a tier piece without requiring the normal 359 tier?
Also a good question. I don't have anything to say on that front right now, but that is one that I would love to bring back to the team as well.
Would removing the cost/limitations on changing talents be possible, and could access to a third specialization be added?
Ooh. Maybe. What's interesting about this is when we originally started developing Cataclysm Classic, we started from a spot of what if we just removed all restrictions? What would that look like? And we got all excited about it, and we thought, hey, this could be a way that we could go, and we'll change up talents and everything for classes in Cataclysm. Players will love that. And what it resulted in was us finding out why the restrictions were put in the first place, and that is because it resulted in some wild class imbalance and just some craziness that we weren't quite prepared to be able to balance around or rebalance every single class around. So I would go back. I want to be able to say maybe. I would say it's probably unlikely, but maybe we're taking some pretty wild swings with our classes in Season of Discovery, and for some of those classes, it's certainly been a roller coaster ride, a fun one. But we're certainly always interested in ways to make targeted changes to classes, similar to some of the changes that we made to classes in Wrath of the Lich King. All of that was driven by player feedback. So that's something that we're going to continue to listen for with Cataclysm as well. And if it makes sense for us to make class changes like that, I think it's something that could be interesting.
Can we expect any 10 mad raiding options going into phase 4 and beyond, or are you more inclined to keep the most/all the raids in a similar size?
Oh gosh. So this is interesting. We have loved the ongoing discussion for Season of Discovery of the raid sizes. Obviously, we announced for Phase 3 that we were going to do a 20-player raid with Sunken Temple, and then with Molten Core, we were also going to make Molten Core a 20-player raid as well. Our intent with Sunken Temple was to create a less jarring experience where all of a sudden teams would get to end game and suddenly have to put together a 20-player raid. So it was an attempt with Sunken Temple to kind of ease groups into that. But it's been an ongoing discussion, and we have heard the feedback about the requirements there, especially when all of the other phases of Season of Discovery so far have been 10-player. I would personally love for us to find new ways to bring more 10-player content to Season of Discovery. It is something we are thinking about, but unfortunately nothing to announce on that front right now.
Does your team have any plans to add fresh new servers?
Yeah, I would assume that this question is related to Cataclysm and creating fresh servers for Cataclysm. This was something that we thought about. It was something that we did for Wrath. We did launch with fresh servers. For Cataclysm Classic specifically, there were a few things that went into this. I would say the primary one, though, was the quality of life changes that we brought for collections and making collections account-wide. So making mounts, toys, pets, heirlooms, and now transmog account-wide. We didn't want to launch brand new Cataclysm Classic realms where that was going to be the case, where essentially players would be able to roll brand new characters on a fresh realm, but still have access to all of these other things that they've unlocked on their other characters. We think it's a great quality of life improvement for Cataclysm Classic that every player is going to benefit from, but we kind of make the balance of suddenly have access to all these heirlooms on a fresh Cataclysm realm a little weird. So that was something that we ultimately decided not to move forward with there. If the question is around fresh Classic era servers, nothing to announce on that front at this time.
Are there any PvP changes coming in the future that you can talk about?
Changes to PvP? I don't think so, unless for
we're talking about Cataclysm?
Yes.
So not specifically to how PvP works. We are doing an update to Tol Barad. Originally, Tol Barad was just the out in the world battle zone, similar to what Wintergrasp was originally. We back in Wrath, we ended up adjusting Wintergrasp so that it was a 120v120 instanced battleground. We're doing something similar with Tol Barad, where Tol Barad will be an 80v80 battleground instead of occurring out in the world. That just makes things run a little bit more smoothly with how layering works in the game, as well as helps just ensure that players will have a more fully populated battleground to run around in. So that's kind of one of the big changes we're doing, is offering that instead of the previous battleground. That's also going to change up things a little bit. If players are hanging out in the zone when the battle spins up, they'll have the opportunity to join in the battle if they want to and get pulled into the instance, or they'll get kicked out of the zone. When the battle's not going on, they will still have access to the daily quest zone that we used to have in there. We still have it in there. We're going to have it phased to the different factions. So both factions will be able to go in there, do all of the daily quests, and also have access to Baradin Hold once that opens up.